Hey, Nat here from warm, balmy Perth, 21 degrees today. It's absolutely beautiful. Hey, just wanted to I get a lot of questions about colonic irrigation. Is it good for your gut? Is it good for your gut microbiome? I had one done many, many years ago, but I've been looking at some studies. Now, there's not extensive studies because, as you can imagine, it's really only very new, all this stuff about the gut microbiome, and there's a lot more important things I think they believe that they can discover and not colonic irrigation. But there was one study done in 2011 in Japan, and it talked about that while symptoms had improved in some, now it was a very short study as well, but while some symptoms had improved in others, that it basically was, what they were saying is that things like short-term allergies, short-term constipation, things like that had improved slightly. But what it didn't do is it didn't improve the overall gut microbiome, like the percentages of good bacteria. And in fact, it decreased a lot of the bifidobacterium and the lactobacilli. And we know that they're very important to long-term health. Another thing is that we do know about the large bowel, that when food enters the large bowel and our beneficial bacteria eat all the fibre and they ferment it and they produce these short-chain fatty acids, which are basically, just think of them as glitter in the body. They do all these amazing things in the body. But what happens is when you have large amounts of water in an area that is not meant to have water. So the large bowel performs the job, large intestine, bowel, whatever you want to call it, performs the job of drawing water out so that basically it can form a poo and can go out. Now, what happens when that water isn't drawn out is that you have things like diarrhea and whatever, and there's a removal of a lot of bacteria, good and bad, during that phase. So we know that huge amounts of water in an area that is not meant to have water in it does not have good effects. The reason why a lot of people do it is they see it as a sort of a line in the sand. It's almost when people say, I'm going to start on Monday, or I'm going to start in summer, or I'm going to start this, or I'm going to start that. They see it as a break from a bad dietary cycle. And also that feeling that you're getting cleansed, detox, that things are getting out. And I've talked about it before in a previous video about that whole myth of detoxes and things like that. So it's certainly not, there's not enough research about as to say the long-term ramifications on it, but we do know that the short-term ramifications are a decrease in our good bacteria. We do know that food and also exercise and sleep and that have a much greater effect on our beneficial bacteria. And one of the greatest effects, one of the best things that you can do if you want to really scour out your large bowel is eat fibre. Okay, fibre, soluble and insoluble fibres. So like all your fruit and vegetables. I don't like to target one thing because when you start saying, oh, eat oats or eat psyllium husk or whatever, people do that and don't do the other stuff. It's about eating a wide range of fruits and vegetables, grains, some legumes, all those sorts of things that naturally go through, and they're like a bottle brush. They go through and they scour anything bad off the sides as it goes through. That's a much better, and also it just actually tastes better, and you got to eat, so it's much cheaper, obviously, than getting a colonic. And a lot of that is colonics it's not improving your diet. Diet is king. Okay, that's what you need to do. Now, just quickly, I will say there was another study which is really interesting because I'm in my 50s, nearly 55. Like people say, oh, you're going to get a colonoscopy. Not sure about after this one. And it was talking about 2015, a study about the effects of what you take on the gut microbiome and the colonoscopy. And it said that the total microbial load decreased by 31-fold. So that's like by a third. And 22% of the subjects lost their, what we call subject-specific microbes. So that's things that are specific to me. Now, while they said that they noticed that restored in about 14 days, what happened is that they saw noticeable increases of these two types of bacteria. There's another one I can't remember. One of them is proteobacteria, and it's a pathogen like salmonella, and the other one was fusobacterium, which was another pathogen which causes, it's a strain being implicated in periodontal disease. So if you think that your bacteria don't, hi guys, thanks for joining. If you think your bacteria do nothing, you know, we often think about, oh, our good bacteria not doing anything, but you sure know it when your bad bacteria are doing something because you're sick, okay? So colonoscopies, yes, you may have to get them, but you really want to follow that up with a really high-strength probiotic to rehabilitate what's been damaged, but also to eat that fibre-rich diet, because that's what our good bacteria eat. So you can talk about a superfood or getting a powder or doing this. It's bullshit. I'm just telling you, it's bullshit. It's just about eating a balanced diet. But there is no money to be made in a shop full, a trolley full of fruit and vegetables. I went yesterday, got a whole bunch of fruit and veggies. I'll post a picture later. And it was like $30, and it's our food for the week. So the reason why all these products are out, they're promising you the colonic irrigation, it will clean you out, it will do this, it will do that. There are no long-term studies to say what the effects are, but we do know that they do show a reduction in beneficial bacterial strains. So, you know, stick a tube up your ass, have a nice smoothie or a nice salad. I don't know. You guys decide. See you later. Bye.